Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning into this video and a huge congratulations on your pregnancy. If you're watching, I'm assuming that you are excited about the day that you get to meet your baby, but you're also feeling that mix of anticipation and anxiety that comes with the unknown of birth. So much of what we hear about birth is either scary, overly medicalized, or just confusing. So in this video, I want to share 5 things that every pregnant woman should understand about birth. Let's start with the hormone that literally powers labor, oxytocin. You might have heard it called the love hormone. It's the same hormone that is released when you are feeling loved up, when you are cuddling, when you are intimate. But in labor, oxytocin has a very important job. It causes the uterus to contract, and those contractions help the cervix to soften, open and dilate, and they help your baby move down and out. In short, oxytocin literally drives your labour. But oxytocin is shy. It flows when you feel calm, safe, relaxed and undisturbed, and things like stress, fear, bright lights and being constantly interrupted can shut it down almost immediately. This is why birth environment and mindset matters far more than most people realise. Here's a quick exercise that you can try right now. So I'd like you to close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I'd like you to visualise a place where you feel really calm. Maybe that is a cozy room in your house or your garden, or just somewhere with someone that you love, and take a minute to think about it. You can pause the video here if you want to. Just focus on your breathing and notice how your body feels soft, your shoulders soften and your muscles relax. Now that feeling is your oxytocin state, and you can access it in labour to feel more relaxed, more calm and more grounded. Now let's talk about how you can protect and boost oxytocin with your birth environment. So I'm going to use an analogy here that everyone can relate to: going out to eat. So I want you to imagine that you are grabbing food in a busy food hall with every fast food option available around you. The lights are harsh, it's noisy, there are people constantly hustling around you. Someone asks you if you're nearly finished at your table and they hover nearby, waiting to grab your seat the minute that you get up. The environment is designed for efficiency, fast food, quick turnover and minimal fuss. How are you feeling in this environment? Probably stressed, distracted and overstimulated. Now imagine that you've gone to get some food at a nice restaurant. There is cozy lighting, soft music, the tables are spaced out, someone comes to take your order and then leaves you alone to enjoy your meal. You're going to feel relaxed and comfortable, and the chances are you're going to want to stay there for a while and enjoy the experience. 2 very different environments and 2 very different feelings. Your body responds to your environment, and birth works in the same way. So your birth environment can have an effect on your feelings and your body. Even if you plan to give birth in hospital, you can still influence your environment. So things like dimming the lights, taking fairy lights or battery powered candles. You can use comforting scents, have calming music playing in the background, and you can even take items from home that will make you feel more comfortable, such as a pillow or a blanket. Even small shifts can make a huge difference. When your body feels safe and comfortable, your muscles loosen, your stress hormones drop, oxytocin flows more freely and labour works more efficiently. And you can absolutely start planning for this now, creating a space where your body feels safe to do what it was designed to do. Moving on to something huge that most women aren't warned about. Fear can literally make labour harder and more painful. Back in the 1940s, a British obstetrician called Grantley Dick Reed observed that women who felt calm and supported during labour often had shorter, more manageable births, whereas women who felt afraid experienced more pain and complications, and he called this the fear, tension, pain cycle. So here's how it works. You feel fear and your muscles tense. Then labour becomes more painful and you feel more fear, and around the cycle continues. And it's not just mindset, it's biology. So fear triggers adrenaline and your fight or flight response. That can make contractions stronger and more painful, and therefore you feel more fear. Blood flow is redirected away from the uterus and labour can slow down or even stall. But the good news is you can interrupt the cycle. Tools like slow, deliberate breathing can signal safety to your nervous system, and even simple patterns like the inhale for 4, exhale for more technique can help your muscles to relax and your mind to settle. And the more that you practice these tools before labour begins, the easier it is to access them when you need it. And I always say to my clients that the best way to overcome fear is with knowledge, whether that is listening to positive birth stories or researching specific things that you're worried about, or attending a good birth prep course. Another thing that you should know if you are pregnant is that your due date is not an expiry date, it's an estimate, and only about 4% of babies are actually born on their due date. Yet so many women feel pressured to go into labour on time, which leads to conversations about induction. In the UK, 1 in 3 labours are induced. Sometimes induction is medically necessary. Other times it's offered because of timing or policy, not because your body or your baby is ready. And this is why knowledge is so important. Not to reject medical care, but so that you can ask the right questions and make decisions that feel right for you and your baby. You should know that every decision is yours to make in pregnancy and labour. It's your body, your baby, and your birth. And finally, let's talk about birth plans. So you might have heard people say things like, you can't plan birth and birth never goes to plan. And in one sense, they're right. You can't script every single moment of labour, but that's not what I believe a birth plan is for. It's about thinking things through before labour begins, because during labour, your brain needs to work very differently. So there's a part of your brain called the neocortex. It's the thinking part of your brain, and it's responsible for language, analysis, and decision making. All of the things that we rely on in everyday life. But in labour and birth, your body works best when that thinking part of your brain takes a back seat. Birth is driven by much more instinctive parts of the brain, the same areas that control breathing and sleep and other automatic functions. And you'll notice that when a woman is deep in labour, she will become quiet, inwardly focused, and maybe even a bit spaced out. That's not accidental. That is your body getting into a deeply instinctive state so that oxytocin flows freely and labour progresses. Now imagine that you are in the height of labour and suddenly you're being asked to make a big decision. Your thinking brain has to switch back on. You are analysing, processing information and weighing up your options, and that can pull you out of that instinctive labour state. This is why preparation is so important, because when you've thought about your boundaries, your options and your preferences, you're not having to process all this information from scratch in the middle of labour. And this is where your birth partner becomes incredibly important. They can help protect your environment, advocate for your preferences, and ask questions when decisions need to be made. They can handle the practical side of things whilst you stay in a relaxed state. This is what a good birth plan really does. It creates clarity between you, your birth partner, and your care team, so that when labour begins, your only focus is surrendering to the process of birth. In order to write a comprehensive birth plan that actually encompasses your preferences and your boundaries, you need a solid understanding of how labour works and what your options actually are. This is where my online birth prep course comes in. It's not just theory, it's a complete step-by-step roadmap. You'll learn about how to work with your body, protect your hormones, release fears and reframe pain, and create a birth map that actually reflects your priorities. And you'll also find the tools that you can use to stay grounded, even if labour takes a different turn. This course gives you control over the things that you can influence: your mindset, your preparation, and your confidence in advocating for yourself. All of these things can have a real impact on how your birth unfolds. Your pregnancy and your birth deserve more than guessing, hoping, and leaving things to chance. You deserve to walk into labour feeling confident and prepared. If you're ready to take that step, the link is in the description. I also post daily on my social media channels, so I'll leave the links below, and my DMs are always open. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more honest, evidence-based birth education. I'm wishing you the very best as you prepare to welcome your baby into the world.